It's been a little while since we've done a Reddit reply. It's always a good time. It's fun. The past few weeks, Reddit has been kind of boring because it was just like, when's Deadpool going to drop? What's going on with Deadpool? Whatever. And I get it. I was the same way too. But now that Deadpool is here, we've talked a bit about him. I figure it'd be fun to now go through Reddit. There's not a ton going on, but we can go through some things that I think are interesting. So let's dive into Reddit. All right, here we go. Here's the first page, and this person got some of the Gen Con promos, which is really cool to see. Um, Look really great. The art looks fantastic on it. Let's just, since we can't actually get it any other time unless we spend all the money to go to Gen Con, and there we go. They are on eBay, so that's where you can find them. So if you want to look for Gen Con promos, that's where to get them. Now, I know I give Fantasy Flight Games a hard time usually for these promos, and even for the Gen Con ones, I'll give them a little bit of a hard time, but at least it was like fair or more fair, right? For again, my biggest complaint with the other promo stuff is that I don't have a store within 2 hours of me. There's no guarantee that store would get it. Even if they do, I'd have to work, or even if they don't, and there's a store near me, I'd have to work with them to make sure that they get it and they order the right thing. And like, it's a whole big thing. At least with Gen Con, it's like, hey, it's going to be a Gen Con if you're going to be there, stop by and come get it. Like, at least that makes a little more sense to me. It's still, I don't love it, but it makes more sense than what they do for the stores. This is just a friendly reminder to Fantasy Flight Games to just sell it to me. Let me give you money. All right. It can go first to the stores, right? These promos can go first to Gen Con people, but then after that, let me give you money. I want to pay you. This feels like a really weird thing that I have to ask to give you money, but here we are. So anyway, that was the first thing, but it is really cool. I do like the artwork on it a lot. I think it looks pretty sweet. Also, I'm pretty sure that these used to be print and plays, and I think they spelled genius or energy. I think it was energy was spelled wrong on one of them, right? I don't really remember, but I think it's on Hall of Heroes. I remember correctly. So anyway, all right. So next thing they have is Deadpool price versus gain. My first thought was it was cool. Deadpool set has something for everyone. Then, as I kept reading the news article the other day, I had a second thought. The set comes with 78 cards, 15 hero and obligation, 7 Deadpool cards. It leaves us with 50-ish one pool cards, 51 cards, and a new aspect that require you to take a second side villain. Plus, there's the fact you can actually play Deadpool with this purchase. All of the price of the standard pack, not bad at all. I'm left with one question though: does Deadpool have a hero exclusive villain and side scheme? Don't see this listed in the FFG article because they're too focused on taking pool. If he does, that would drop in the pool card down to 4-time cards. Pool with this purchase, not as appealing as purchase I thought. So the person breaks it down here, which is pretty interesting. You got a hero card, Deadpool, 15 Deadpool cards, 47 pool cards, 1 obligation, 5 nemesis, 7 dread pool cards, 1 team up card, and 1 card list is what comes on in it, which I think is fine. I'm still going through the pool cards, right? The quote unquote new fifth, the fifth aspect, and I know like there's this weird thing going on in the community right now where people are saying that the pool aspect is a legit fifth thing, and then others saying it's not. That like it's just this gimmick, right? It's this fun thing they put together. I don't know how to take it yet. I'll be completely honest because we just haven't seen enough yet of it. Where on the Fantasy Flight Games article, they state that this is the fifth aspect. Like they're treating it as the fifth aspect. It is written down that this is the fifth aspect, and that's how they're treating it. But it does feel very gimmicky, especially naming it pool, right? And that you're not having a whole Deadpool cycle. Presumably, maybe Gwenpool will be a thing, and all of our all the things that we could ever want will come true. Ghoulie, man. But it's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird. I don't know how to treat yet, and I really won't until the future. I know a lot of people have been asking me this, like, do you think that the pool aspect is going to be really legit in the future? Do you think it's going to be built upon? I just don't know because we don't know enough about the pool cards yet. There's 47 of them, and we saw like 5 or not even 10, I think. So we just haven't seen enough of the pool cards out there. I like to think that they would expand upon it if they, like I said, I'm going to take the article at face value that what they're telling me is the truth and that they are treating this as a fifth aspect. I'm just going to believe them on that. I'm going to believe what they said on this. So I assume that they would support a fifth aspect. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know what the plans are for the future. That's up for them to decide. I'm sure there's ways they can do it with the next X-Men cycle, but I hope they do support it. But anyway, I'm kind of trying to reserve some judgment as of the pool aspect as a whole, writ large, for a little while. But once we see all the pool cards, I will judge it based off of that for that small amount. But anyway, let me know that in the comments, kind of your thoughts on this, because this is like a really weird, polarizing topic right now. I think they were expecting everyone to kind of love the pool aspect or love the idea of it, and it's really kind of hit and miss with people. It's fascinating, and I would warn with everyone, just let's not judge it too much yet, because we just don't know enough yet. And really quick, I'm going to throw this in here. This is the news release article, right? This is the Deadpool article, because I know some people are going to be like, well, are they actually treating it as a fifth aspect? Because I know I'm going to get that comment. And this is their words. As ridiculous as it may seem, which it does seem ridiculous, the pool aspect really is the game's fifth aspect. This means any hero can make use of it, including heroes who can use multiple aspects in their decks. However, there's a catch, and they go into the whole catch of this whole thing. Again, this is their words. This is not me saying that, oh, I hope they treat it as a fifth. Like, they are saying they are treating it as the game's fifth aspect. Now, do they support that fifth aspect? I don't know. It'd be weird if they didn't. But again, the reason I make the claims I did in the previous part was because this is what they are saying. It's not what I'm saying. It's what they are saying, and I'm treating what they're saying at face value. All right, so our next one is the Sinister Motives campaign. Did you think the Sinister Six were hallucinations? In the Sinister Motives campaign, the Six just kind of appear randomly in the building you're in with no in-story justification, and then you have to escape them, and after which there's no further effect on the plot. Seeing as we just had a mysterious scenario, I assume they were illusions he's conjured, hence why they keep popping up no matter how many times you knock them down. The fact that one or more of them can follow you into the next scenario kind of undermines this idea, but I think it's an interesting headcanon to explain why they're basically just a filler action scene and don't put much of a fight. This right here, these two paragraphs are more thought and effort than I've ever put into the campaign for this game. I like the campaigns. I really do. I like the campaigns. I think they're fun to go through now and again. But I think this person has more thought and effort that they put into this campaign than I ever had. But I like the idea. Like, I like it makes sense with the illusions. I always assumed you were just kind of like fighting them off constantly, right? Like somehow you end up in the tunnel. I don't know. They glossed over that part. But I just assumed you were fighting them over and over because you weren't really like taking them out, right? You're just kind of like, they're kind of like hitting them aside while you were doing your thing to get out of the tunnel. That's how I always picture them. That's why they were a little weaker, because you're not really trying to finish them off. You're just trying to like keep them off of you. Like that's kind of I approached it. But I really just want to say like kudos to this person for like legit like really thinking about the story and whatnot. Like that's pretty cool. What are some champions you like to see in the game? I'm thinking about all the other Marvel champions heroes we have not seen yet in everyone's wish list. I want a Ghost Spider deck, or Ghost Rider deck, probably centered around justice or aggression cards. I'm going to guess that most people are going to say Daredevil. I'm actually more of an X-Men mutant fan. That's fine. Yeah, there's no way we don't get Nightcrawler and Iceman. I mostly agree with that. They're going on about that. Nightcrawler or I Riot. Number one, Daredevil. This is huge, I think, for a lot of people. And I think that's most people. Squirrel Girl, which is interesting. And then more X-Men stuff. And Gwenpool, let's go. Let's go. Cartoon Cat, you're my new friend. Let's go. So what I will say is, for me personally, I'm really weird. So I want to see more spider related stuff. There is a lot. Like Spider-Man's my favorite like comic book hero. It's my favorite movie hero. Like Spider-Man's my favorite by far. So I want more spider related things, especially Silk and Black Cat. I've always liked them. So I would like to see more of their stuff. And that's probably my number one. And especially a lot of the villains, right? Like we never got like a true Dr. Octopus villain to face. So I would really like that too. I think that would be a lot of fun. There's some other ones that could be fun with Electro and whatnot. But anyway, that's probably number one, right, of what I would want. Number two is probably Kool-Aid Man. I know people, like to think I'm joking around, but I think Kool-Aid Man would be a lot of fun. I think it would be cool. I don't care what anyone says. I want Kool-Aid Man. That's how I hope they finish this. When this is all said and done, I hope the very last hero they come out with, if I have done anything in this channel that's of any importance, I hope the very last thing they come out with is Kool-Aid Man. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be a good send-off for the game, because why not? I would also like Howard the Duck. I like Howard the Duck. I think it's funny. So I'm here for fun and I'm here for laughter, and that's what I would like to see is Howard the Duck. Gwenpool, absolutely, I would like to see. I think more Gwenpool stuff would be cool. And then there are X-Men stuff that I would like to see. I think Nightcrawler and Beast would be really cool to see. I'm thinking of, what is it, Emma Frost or whatever. Is that who it is? That's one of them. I think she would be good. There's a couple of people, but also when I've done the custom content stuff that we've done before in this channel, we've talked about different people, like the idea of Cloak and Dagger. I think people have done stuff with that I think is really fascinating and really interesting. The Fantastic Four is fine, right? I expect to see it at some point. I'll be happy when it comes out. Daredevil, absolutely. Ghost Rider, absolutely. I think the Punisher should absolutely be one of the heroes. I think there's so many champions that are left for this game that they have a lot of room to work with, and that's not even including like Winter Soldier should have his own thing. Like Falcon should probably have his own thing. Like there's so many people that should have like their own thing. I think it'd be really interesting. But anyway, in as far as what I care about and what I want to see, more spider stuff. I don't even care what it is at this point. Just more spider stuff. Then Kool-Aid Man, then Howard the Duck, and then everything else is fine. This is a really interesting question, and put down in the comments for your forgotten hero. I think this is really fascinating. With 43 heroes out, who is your forgotten hero? It could be the one you were excited for, but after release you were disappointed with, or one that you liked and for whatever reason didn't go back to. For this person, it was Vision was the most forgotten hero. They played him wrong on release and thought he was pretty good, and then just kind of stopped. I think he's a good hero kit. I went back to deck build with him. I had no clue why I didn't play him more. I just blame the MTS cycle because none of those heroes really grabbed my attention. Valkyrie. So that was their person. Black Panther, I think, is a really good one. Black Panther is one I forget about a lot, and I want to go back to Panther more because his kit's really good. He's a lot of fun to play. Black Panther's up there for me, for sure. Vision. Yeah, Vision, I think is fine. The problem with me with Vision is that I get stuck in Vivian mode. I mean, it's just really like building out for Vivian. Mine is probably Spectrum. I don't think Spectrum's good. I've tried so hard with Spectrum. What else did some people have? Gamora, which I love Gamora. I absolutely love Gamora, but I could get that with people because if you were always into the building out and not doing like event based things, like it doesn't feel right to play Gamora. So I completely get that. Spider is pretty good, which is a good one. Adam Warlock, which I agree. Like Adam Warlock was one. I know I've said this before. Adam Warlock was one of those heroes that had so much hype built around him, and then just kind of like fell off. Right, it just like fell off. And I still think it's twofold that the Brian V deck with the Warlock, whatever it's called, the Wild Tutor deck is pretty darn good. Whether it's solved or not, it doesn't really matter. But I think the idea is that it's solved, and I think that part matters. But I also think deck building for Warlock is kind of a pain, right? To like balance 4 aspects perfectly. It's kind of a pain to do. I'm not gonna lie. I want to deck build quickly because I want to play the game. If I wanted to spend a lot of time deck building, I would play Lord of the Rings or Arkham Horror, right? I don't play Marvel Champions to deck build like heavily. And maybe that's on me, right? Maybe that's on me. Maybe that's why Adam Warlock isn't like a big draw for me. But that's one of the reasons. So my number one like forgotten hero, I would say, while there was definitely some good ones in there, it's probably Quicksilver right now. Quicksilver is one that I played a decent amount when he came out, but he came out right around the same time as Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is my absolute favorite hero. I think Witch is just so much fun to play overall, and her mechanics so interesting that I got bored of like the ready up mechanic like really fast, or the ready up mechanic and like idea really fast. So for me, I played him a bunch and then I stopped. And now recently I've been playing him a lot more, especially in the aggression deck. I recently did how I play Quicksilver with the aggression deck. Make sure to check it out. I now appreciate him more and he's less forgotten about. So that's kind of like my forgotten hero that has now actually made a full redemption arc at this point. But my true forgotten hero is probably Black Panther. I really love Black Panther. I think he's a lot of fun to play. I just don't play him, and I don't know why. I need to figure that out. So anyway, that's probably my forgotten hero. Next one is Villain Scenario Pack. Maybe this has been answered somewhere else. Sorry if so. I'm just curious if whether to expect an additional Villain Scenario Pack akin to Green Goblin Mojo Mania for the X-Force Wave. Does anyone know anything about this? As far as we know, they've announced everything that's going to be announced with the X-Force Wave. There have been cycles in the past where they don't do scenario packs. It's not all the time they do it. So it kind of makes sense they wouldn't do it. I would expect them next cycle to have a scenario pack. It doesn't mean they're going to, but that's when I would just expect it. That'd be my guess is next wave, which I think would be fine, right? They don't have to come out with them all the time. I think it's just usually fun stuff that they usually put together. So as of now, there is none, but yeah, in the future, I would assume so. All right, what hero packs are dropping with next evolution? So it's not supposed to be just Angel. I don't know why that kind of happened. So, like this person says, technically none of them, but some people got Angel ahead of the release date. Psylocke and Angel is supposed to be released September 22nd, and X-23 and Deadpool in November. I think there is a November date. I thought it was in the teens, but I don't really remember off the top of my head. So yeah, so technically nothing is dropping with Next Evolution. It isn't like X-Men where they wanted you to be able to play 4 heroes right away, and that's why they did that, right? That's why there's 2 extra heroes, because they wanted 4-player games to happen right away. It's not going to be like that with Next Evolution. It's Angel and Psylocke will be slightly after, or I guess it's about a month, right? About a month after. So anyway, that's going to be later. They're not dropping right away. And those are all the hero packs in total, right? So you got the box, and then you got Psylocke, Angel, X-23, and Deadpool for this entire cycle. All right, so Warlock pool. Adam Warlock's special instructions, Avatar of Life. During deck building, your deck must include an equal number of cards from all 4 aspects. You cannot include more than 1 copy of a non-Adam Warlock deck. With the addition of the pool aspect, is this a valid aspect to build on Adam Warlock? Does his card need rewritten to state 4 original aspects, or any 4 aspects, or all aspects? It's a good question. Let's see if the answer to this has been addressed. Yes. So this was addressed by Peter, who lurks, I think, on Facebook, but I know he's in the Discord channels, where basically he stated, I don't think it's been spelled out anywhere else, like in the rules or anything like that. But he stated it, and he's in charge of like writing the articles and stuff. So I have no reason to believe he's lying about this, but it's 4 aspects that you're allowed to do, right? As this person stated, you get to choose the 4 aspects, because that's kind of how Adam Warlock was balanced, so it makes the most sense. But you get to do any 4 aspects that you choose. So just put pool in and take 1 out. So anyway, that's what that's going to be. And I assume as more stuff comes up, they're going to just adjust the pool aspects to it. But obviously that's the big one that comes to mind. All right, so heroes you like with mechanics you don't like. So they're talking a bit about this. That Marvel Channel, is natural that you have a hero you like, whether it's from the movies or the comics. Do you have heroes you wanted to play desperately because it's your favorite hero, but was disappointed from their mechanic? I really like Agent Venom and have read every comic book with him, but they really didn't like the weapon mechanic. Same with Spidey. What about you? So Spider-Man, I don't have a problem with his mechanic with Spider-Sense. I have more problem with his deck, because his deck just doesn't allow thwarting. So it kind of pigeonholes you into justice with them. I wish they would have balanced them out a little bit better. There's Spider Tracer is just not a good attachment, and they later fixed it more with Agent Venom, I believe. But there's different ways they could have fixed that a lot better, or done it a lot better. They just didn't. Again, because realistically, when this game was first made, it wasn't really made with solo in mind. Like, you could play solo, but the thought was, like most of the other LCGs, you would play 2-handed or play with friends or whatever. And then, some of us don't have friends, so here we are. But yeah, so that was the rough idea. So Spidey, I not that I don't like his mechanic per se, like his spider tingle sense mechanic, whatever it's called. I just don't like his kit. For me, the obvious big mechanic that I don't like is Hulk's, right? Like his mechanic of just you throw away your cards, like that makes no sense. Like, it's still to this day, like, trying to put that together doesn't make sense to me of what they were doing with him. And again, there's a lot of stories that go around with that he was incredibly OP, even though they didn't just come out with Doctor Strange and they left Doctor Strange the same, but sure, whatever. He was incredibly OP, and then they decided to nerf him the last second, and then that became a part of Drax's kit, and then Hulk just kind of fell to the wayside. I don't know. There's a whole thing. I don't know really what it is, and whatever at this point. But I guess the Hulk mechanic is I like Hulk a lot. Don't really like that mechanic for sure. All right, so last one. I plan on buying the game soon, but I wanted to play She-Hulk until I found out she's one of the worst characters in the game. I plan on playing a lot of solo a lot, but would like to find an online community to run games with. Is it true players get annoyed if you pick She-Hulk? No. I mean, She-Hulk was perceived weak when she came out, I feel like. So okay, so here's the weird history with this game, right? This game came out in 2019. I think it was pretty late in 2019. No, it was in 2019 sometime. Might not have been late, but regardless, I feel like this game really picked up steam as it started charting on the solo BGG top 100 solo games of the year, whatever that list is called. It started charting on there. The pandemic happened. People were investing in this game, and they started playing a lot of solo. They started playing solo. And the thing is with solo, in the beginning, it was very hard to play solo because there wasn't a lot of things that would let you flip down to alter ego, right? Rhino, you almost can't do it with Claw and Ultron. You can do it, but it's a bit tougher, right? It's kind of hard to deal with. Anyway, regardless, I feel like She-Hulk shines when she flips down, right? She has a lot of interesting stuff she can do when she flips down and flips back up. And the problem is with a lot of solo players in the beginning, you can't really do that as much. So if you're playing multiplayer games, she's great. She's really good. She's really solid. But because early on in the game, most people were playing solo because of the pandemic that was happening, that most people just kind of wrote her off as like, oh, she's not good solo. She's probably not going to be a good multiplayer. Now, as the card pool has gotten really large and much more expanded, you could do a lot more now, right? You could do a lot more with her, and she is really good. Is she top tier? Probably not top tier, but I think she's definitely a solid middle of the pack hero for solo. Maybe middle, like lower middle, but still like right there. She's definitely not the worst solo hero by far. But I would say like don't also let one hero stop you from buying the entire game. Like, I don't know if that's the right way to look at it. Like, again, Spider-Man is my absolute favorite hero, my favorite comic book, my favorite movie series, favorite everything, right? I love Spider-Man. I rarely play Peter Parker Spider-Man. I rarely play him because I don't think he's that good in this game. I don't think he's that interesting. I don't like his mechanics. I don't like his hero kit. But there's so many other heroes that I've now grown to love that I wouldn't have in the past, right? So don't let one hero that may not be great like stop you from playing the game, right? That's the one thing I would say about that. Don't try not to do that. I know it's hard, but try not to do that. All right, so that's it for this week's Reddit reply. Hopefully you enjoy this. I know it's been a while. It's been a long while since we've done this, sadly, but hopefully we'll get back into the swing of things, especially as the new box comes out. There's more questions usually, and people. Like I said, have more questions about different things. There's more things to talk about and all that fun stuff, which, by the way, I will be coming out soon with a how to play video. So get excited for that. Or if you're watching this way after this video released, then it's already out and you should go look at that. So this way you have general questions. I try to like walk through it really slow and hopefully that helps. So anyway, I don't have like I don't remember what the last Reddit reply is that I did. So I'm not going to point to that. Instead, I will just point to that I recently did Quicksilver. Yeah, let's do Quicksilver. All right, Quicksilver's up here. So if you want to see Quicksilver, this is how I play Quicksilver. It's a fun video series. Hopefully you like it. If you made this far in the video, make sure to hit like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you all next time.